Well. Here we are. Here we mother trucker are. I'm gonna play this intro. Hello, everyone. Hey, Christina. Hey, Debbie. I see folks are hanging out in the back. I know more people are coming on in the room. Come on in the room. I know more y'all are coming on in the room. So we're going to go on and start this and get this going. Let me play my intro. Let everybody know we are actually live tonight. We are here in the house. We're going to talk about the Mercury retrograde of it all, the shenanigans of it all. We're going to give y'all opportunity to chat. We're going to pull some cards, probably on the whole situations. I have all the cards of truth sitting right here in front of me. So we are going to get into some things. Hey Marie, how you doing? Hey Kyle, how are you? Hello, Moon Prince. Hello. All right, let's keep it moving. Here we go.
Give me any beat.
All right. You guys like these intros I come up with? I enjoy these little intros. That's probably one of the most fun things that I do when I'm getting ready to do a live is come up with the new intros or whatever. I like playing with it, and that's going to be very important when we start and drop our app. Hi, Serene. How are you? I'm doing well. Marie, I'm doing well. Gemini is here in the house today with us. This retrograde has been interesting. Absolutely, it has. Hello, Cricket. How are you? All right. Let me put this disclaimer up here first because I'm not trying to be bothered with people. First of all, welcome to the channel. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. I want to thank you all for your support. We are pushing toward 9K and then on our way to 10K. So right now, I know you guys can probably see this, but right now, according to the dashboard, we're at 8,633 subscribers. So you guys, any sharing, when you like this, give it a thumbs up. When you put some comments down below, if you happen to be on the replay gang, this helps the algorithm. And anytime you share it with anyone, it helps the algorithm. It helps more people discover the content. I've got some cool shorts content coming out. We'll be recording that on Monday. So it's going to help. And we're going to be in some great positioning to move forward. So we're pushing for that 10K. I want this already stated right now. Everything stated in this video is opinion, interpretation, and conjecture. The only factual statements are those from the panelists' personal experiences. And this is all fair use. It's going to be all allegedly, unless it's not allegedly. So we're just going to talk about some things. There's a lot of just stuff. There's stuff happening. It's cray. And I want to continue to say hello, Ms. Gorgeous Greer. How are you? Hello, Red Violet. How are you? And Gemini, they are saying hello to you, beautiful kitty. So I don't know how long I'm gonna let her sit up here. All right. Fab cat. Honey, you're the fab cat now. All right. So let's talk about it. Merc, I'm gonna move these cards over here. Don't start. Don't you start. Oh boy. Let's see here. Mercury retrograde dates. So we're looking at Let's see here. Mercury will be in retrograde until October the 2nd. So we have another week and a half, so guys, of Mercury being in retrograde. In between all of that, though, we still have some very major things happening. Even if I just look at things astrologically, and then I'm hearing other things that are happening across the world. Stop. While while a lot of the world is busy being concerned with the death of the queen, and I know we talked about that. We talked about the death of Queen Elizabeth II, and the rise of King Charles and all of these situations, which I still am saying, to me, I will be surprised if he actually gets coronated. That's not supposed to happen till the spring. I will be surprised if that actually happens. Then that's just a feeling. Now, it is what it is. If it happens, then I'm wrong. Okay. But I just feel like there's something that's going to happen that would preclude him actually getting coronated. Like the actual coronation ceremony. However, I want to bring up some dates of some things that is going on even before then. We have hello LRGA. We have Rosh Hashanah happening, and that is starting soon. And let me pull up so we have an understanding of Rosh Hashanah. Let's see here. We'll do Wikipedia. I'm going to explain this because this is significant as far as a Jewish feast, a Jewish holiday. And let's also remember that back in the day, until the Julian calendar, the Gregorian calendar, until that was created, we all did everything according to lunar cycle. So time was measured according to the cycles of the moon. Things were measured according to what we now call astronomy, but was also astrology. There was an understanding of the stars. We did have higher dimensional beings that did come and teach us as a human race, because we were not dependent on the technology as it's been created by man. We were dependent upon the true technology, which is that of the ether or the spirit. So when these dates in the Jewish calendar, they tend to coincide with very specific lunar cycles, with very specific astrological cycles. And they can say what they want, but that's just the truth. And they also coincide with the respective energies, because there was a deeper understanding of that. Okay, a deeper understanding of that. Hey Shiny, how are you, love? Hello. Hey Sabby Bean, how are you? Christina, that's fine. I'm just saying it's a Jewish holiday. I'm going to show you guys some things in regard to that. Hey, Melissa. Yeah, Gemini is in full effect. She is not trying to move nor be moved. So I'm just going to leave her there while she's playing nicely. So let's talk about Rosh Hashanah, and then we're going to look at the chart regarding that. And then I'm going to start talking about how Mercury retrograde does interact with all of this. So Rosh Hashanah is the start of the year. It is the Jewish New Year. The biblical name for this is Yom Teruah, the day of shouting or blasting. It is the first of the Jewish high holy days. as specified in Leviticus 23 through 25, that occur in the late summer, early autumn in the Northern Hemisphere. The high holy days, right, or the days of awe in Judaism, more properly known as the Yamim Noraim, strictly the holidays of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, by extension, the period of 10 days known to include these holidays, okay? Now, Rosh Hashanah is a 2-day observance, okay, and celebration that begins on the first day of Tishri, which is the first month of the civil year. So for Judaism, Tishri was the first day of like a business. Like when you say think civil, everything that had anything to do with humanity, earthly year. And the 7th month of the ecclesiastical year, or the God year. Okay, the spiritual year. 7th month of the spiritual year. Seventh month of the spiritual year. The name of the month, interestingly enough, is Babylonian. So as much as people want to talk about, oh, Babylon this and Babylon that, they took this name from the Babylonians, which, whatever. In contrast to the ecclesiastical New Year on the first day of the month of Nisan, and that would be our first day of spring, first month of spring. The first month of spring. So when we have for the zodiac wheel, the beginning of the year is in Aries. That's when, because if you think about it, that's when all life is reborn. So why would we start the new year in the beginning of the day? Winter. The spring Passover month, which marks Israel's exodus from Egypt. Rosh Hashanah marks the beginning of the civil year, according to the teachings of Judaism, and is the traditional anniversary of the creation of Adam and Eve. I want you all to begin to grasp the importance of this Jewish holiday. According to Judaism, this is the day in which mankind was created. This is the day humanity, the beings that had the ability to contain the hue or the light of Creator, this is the anniversary of this day. Rosh Hashanah customs include sounding the shofar, which you guys, let me scroll up so you guys can see, the ram's horn, as prescribed in the Torah, following the prescription of the Hebrew Bible to raise a noise. This is also called the Feast of Trumpets. This is also called the Feast of Trumpets. Now, the 10 days, here we go. Rosh is the Hebrew word for head. Ha is the definite article the, and Shana means year. So that's why Rosh Hashanah means the start of the year. This, however, does not, in its current meaning, does not appear in the Torah. It refers to the festival in Leviticus 23:24, refers to the festival of the first day of the 7th month, known as Zikron Teruah, a memorial of blowing of horns, Feast of Trumpets. Okay? This is the ultimate Sabbath or meditative rest day, a holy day to God. Their anointed days. Some people refer to it as Yom Kippur, blah, 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 blah. It starts marks the new year. One of 4 New Year observances in various legal years, blah, blah. according to the Mishnah and the Talmud. It is the new year for people, animals, and legal contracts. People, animals, and legal contracts. And it's celebrating the creation. Now, I will tell you that these services tend to last 10 days. It's like the feast of, like, there's certain high holy days everybody comes, right? Everybody comes to Jerusalem. They pitch their tents and their tabernacles, right? They pitched their tents in Jerusalem. This is how it was celebrated. And everybody came because this was the high holy days when the high priests would make sacrifices on the altars, and they would have a breastplate that had 12 gemstones on them to represent the 12 tribes. Interesting. AKA 12 houses. Stop playing in my face. 12 houses. Any of y'all watch Game of Thrones? Any of y'all watch Game of Thrones? When we talk about House Targaryen and House Stark and House Lannister, see, back in medieval days, their clan was called your house, right? Your family name, that was your house. We have houses for zodiac. We have 12 tribes. We had 12 disciples. I could keep going. Now, but on that breastplate would shine the light of God, and then the reflection off of each of the gemstones on the breastplate would reflect back onto the ark, and they would hit different letters in the Jewish alphabet was on there and inscribed on the side of the ark, and it would hit, and that's how they would get their messages from God. Okay? Messages from God. Hey, Girl Talk. Hey, Spirit 1111. I just was wondering if y'all had seen it. Hey, Steph, how you doing, darling? Hey, we got some Game of Thrones fans here. Hey, Walkabout Bridge, how are you, love? It's good. It's good. Watch House of the Dragon. I love House of the Dragon. And by the way, I'm going to give a shout out to a friend of mine. Well, he's a YouTube kind of, I really like this guy. His name is Sir Hunts. Look up SER Hunts Reviews. SERHUNTS Reviews. And he knows everything Game of Thrones backwards and forwards. He's a mixed race. Love that man. So I'm giving him a shout out. I put a link in my community tab to one of his last lives. So find it on the community tab. Go subscribe to him. He's almost at 100K. Go help my brother out over there, because he'd be working hard. Tell Gemini, I said, oh yeah, she was down here. She's here, but she was trying to take up too much of everything. Thank you. No, Girl Talk, honey. He's no, not like that. He's just a real cool young man. Okay. Hey, Jess, how you doing? Oh, Jen, how you doing, honey? How you doing, Jen? Okay. So now we're back. So this is how they would get the messages from God. Why is this one so important this year? Almost every year, I would say, it seems to me, you can pretty much count on Mercury retrograde. It happens 3 times a year. It tends to happen similar times during the year too as well. Rosh Hashanah is always over a new moon. Always. As it should be. It's the start of the new year. So why would you start a new year not somewhere around the time of the new moon? And in fact, Rosh Hashanah starts on September 25th, which so happens to be the new moon in Libra. Now, you guys know that I typically go through this a little bit more in depth, and I'm actually just going to bring this up, and then we're going to look at the chart as well. Why is that significant? I'm telling you this Mercury retrograde, we've had the Queen die. We've had 10 days of funeral and remembrance and all these things happen. Okay. Do you guys know what else has been happening in these 10 days while this has been going on? There was an executive order that was signed. Let me find that and show it to you. Order on bio. Let me see if it's called that. Here we go. I'm going to read it from the New York Post. And then we'll probably go find this executive order and look at this. Now, I want you to also remember Rosh Hashanah is the anniversary of the celebration of, or it's the anniversary of the creation of man and woman, of Adam and Eve. Okay, of Adam and Eve. So, what better time to continue to introduce a new humanity or a transhumanity or an artificial humanity? Biden issuing executive order to fund U.S. biomanufacturing industry. Now, this happened on September the 12th, 3 days after the Queen's passing, the day after 9/11, while we are all doing what? Paying attention to the Queen's passing, paying attention to, we're still talking about 9/11. What else happened on the 12th? I feel like some other like celebrity stuff was happening on the 12th. Like we have had distraction upon distraction upon distraction. Even here on the YouTube streets, there has been distraction upon distraction upon distraction. People all up in other people's business, talking about stuff they don't know. Trying to discredit people. I don't know stuff, people doing stuff behind the scenes. I'm just like, what is y'all doing? Why are y'all so interested in this? We have rappers suing bloggers over stuff that they said in their own songs. I'm trying to understand. So there's a ton of distractions going on, but let's look and see what the resident said. President Joe Biden will sign orders on Monday, so this was before, to push more government dollars to the U.S. biotechnology industry aimed at reducing dependence on China for materials to generate clean energy, weave new fabrics, and inoculate populations against the C-19 situation. Can I ask y'all something? I'm confused. Last I checked, let me show you something. Let me show you this. 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 Let me show you what happened on September the 6th. Because I want y'all to understand. Let me go back here. I want to find it from a source that. Let me go to Reuters. I'm going to go to Reuters. Go to Reuters. Y'all know I gotta have receipts for everything. I don't just talk out my side of my neck. I have receipts. Okay, here we go. Watch this. London, September the 3rd, 6 days before the Queen's passing. Britain's jab advisors said they were not recommending the jab of all 12 to 15-year-olds against Rona's, preferring a precautionary approach in healthy children due to a rare side effect of heart inflammation. YouTube, I'm reading from Reuters. This is what Reuters said according to over there in the UK. This is fair use. I'm not making any medical claims or making any medical judgments or recommendations. I'm simply reading an article. The advice could see Britain pursue a different approach to the United States, Israel, and some European countries, which have rolled out jabs to children more broadly. However, a final decision has not been taken. The government said it would consult medical advisors and look at other factors, such as disruptions to schools. Let me show you something else. A few days later, we have, on September the 11th, we have this. Children aged 5 to 11 will no longer be offered the jab in the UK. Children under 12 years of age will no longer be eligible to receive the jab in the UK from this month onward. An official UK government document published last week pointed to the change, noting the program for jabbing children aged 5 to 11 has now reached its cutoff point. I didn't know that there was a specific point that they wanted to reach. Let's continue. A document published in the UK's official government website stated that at the time that the current jab project for children aged 5 to 11 was a one-off situation response program. Only in a footnote did it point out at the time there would be a cutoff point of September 1, noting this one-off program applies to those currently aged 5 to 11, including those who will turn 5 years of age by the end of August 2022. Why would you need a cutoff point? If this is so good for everybody, if this isn't a problem, why is there a cutoff point? I'm showing you all of this to tell you, while we've been sitting here watching other things, we are finding out. I told you guys a couple weeks ago, Mercury retrograde was going to show us everybody's intentions. It was going to put, when I was talking about the full moon, we were going to see intentions. We were going to see the reality behind things. The veil is so thin, you can poke a hole right through it. Everything. I told you then we were going to have more harming of children in adult ways and other adult issues pop up. There was 150 Disney employees here recently that were just arrested in a sting down in Florida for messing with kids. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I told you all these things were going to happen. I told you we were going to have governmental change. I told you that we were going to have economic issues, and we've yet to see it yet, but there's more economic issues coming. We haven't seen the end of the economic problems. Okay? Now, yeah, we talked about Mr. Spears. We've talked about them and Ms. Haddish. Hey, Tarot Guy, how are you? Okay, the resident in chief is apparently supporting 2 cuts to Social Security benefits so it can stop losing money at a high rate. Well, let's find that one out. Let's see about that one. Oh, well, I gotta find it from more than just. Who is this? Well, here we go. Let's put this. I'm showing you guys all of this because I want you to see when we're paying attention to something else. Yes, Mercury retrograde is coming like a wrecking ball. It is an absolute, it's a mess. But you know, I never leave y'all without a way out. So here we go. Biden has called for Social Security benefits cuts 2 times. This is from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Oops, sorry, baby. So here's more economic issues. For most Americans, Social Security is or will become a vital source of income during retirement. According to surveys conducted by the National Pollster Gallup, nearly 90% of current retirees lean on their Social Security income to make ends meet. Additionally, 84% of non-retirees expect to rely on Social Security as a major or minor source of income during their golden years. But even though it's been our nation's most successful retirement program for more than 8 decades, it's been around for 80 years, y'all. Social Security finds itself in some pretty serious financial trouble. Of course, because y'all keep dipping and dapping into it. Let me stop. According to the 2022 Social Security Board of Trustees report, the program is facing a jaw-dropping $20.4 trillion cash shortfall over the next 75 years. While this doesn't mean Social Security is insolvent, the program thankfully can't go bankrupt as long as Americans continue working. When I tell you that you all are a commodity, you and your Social Security number is a commodity. You fund everything. You do. All y'all that's listening to me right now, all y'all listening to me right now, that I want you to understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. You that are working, especially if you're working for someone else, especially. But even if you're not, even if you're an entrepreneur like myself, self-employed, what have you, nothing would run in this country without you. Do you understand that? Nothing. There'd be no Social Security. There'd be no money for the government to spend. You're the commodity. You have to keep working. So when they tell you, we want to go off and do UBI, universal basic income. When they tell you we want to do things that are more on the communistic, socialistic plane, where everyone just gets a specific piece of the pie, right? Who's going to fund that? Who's going to fund free education and free healthcare and free this and free? Who's funding that? Because what really they're saying is you go to work here, there, and everywhere at these big box, large corporations that they keep growing and growing and growing and trying to cut those of us who are smaller businesses out of the picture, small to medium-sized businesses, so that you can funnel everybody like a herd into this situation and then begin to tax them to no end. Or say all your money's going in the kitty and everybody's going to be on the same level playing field, no matter how hard you work or the next person don't. Shall we continue? Let me go back over here because y'all can't see that. That's a little bit better. It does portend the growing likelihood of steep benefit cuts on the not too distant horizon if nothing changes. Biden leaves the door open to raise the full retirement age. Speaking in a very broad sense, the party now. Oh, I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't. This is the party that supposedly tells you all the time they're for you as a working American citizen. Their words, not mine. If you know anything about history, you know that traditionally, when you say someone leans left, they're more of like a Labor Party or, right? They're like, oh, we're for the working man. And anytime somebody is denoted as leaning right, typically, historically, that has meant, oh, they're more on the upper middle class, upper class, elite level. Okay, that's been the class distinction up until now. That's been the distinction. His political party, Democrat, prefers to raise the additional revenue for Social Security by increasing the payroll tax paid by high-earning workers. But every once in a while, we see prominent lawmakers break with their party, which is exactly what happened when he was on the ticket. In September, back in 2008, in September 2007, Biden released a plan that, among other things, was designed to shore up Social Security. Keep in mind, lawmakers have known since the 1985 Board of Trustees report Social Security was not on track to bring in enough revenue over the next 75 years to cover its projected payouts. I remember they said that back in 85. I clearly recall that because my father had a fit. So that was how many years ago, guys? That's almost 40 years ago. So really, in all honesty, what they're not telling you is really what they're saying is in the next 35 years, Social Security is going to have a problem. Although this plan called for an increase in the maximum taxable earnings cap on high earners, Biden was also open to discussing bipartisan options such as raising the full retirement age. If you're for the worker, why would you even want the worker to work harder? And let me tell you guys something. Like this plan for an increase to the maximum taxable earnings cap on high earners, I want you to know that there's probably some of you that listen to me right now that are going to fall into that category. Because high earners, as defined, at least before they may have changed it, but as defined according to like the Medicare insurance, like then the Social Security, it's like 200K, 250K if I'm not mistaken. So it's not that high. I mean, it's high, but it's not that high. So they've been kicking around this 67. So here, look at this, guys. For roughly 6 decades after the Social Security check went out, it first went in 1940, the full retirement age stood at 65, but following 2 rounds of gradual increases, everyone born in 60 and later has a full retirement age of 67. So all of you guys right now that are listening to me right now, unless you were born before 1960, I just want you to know that you cannot retire and get full benefits until you turn 67. What did he say? Would always say the verses so people knew it wasn't falsified. Oh. Where it said that losing money at a rate of 2024. Exactly. Like this is crazy. All right, let's keep going here. What's happening, Jen? In Canada, your PM is having your old age pension changes from 65 to 67 before we can claim it. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he hadn't already done that. Hey, Jennifer Jean Paul, these cuts aren't they to push a new financial system? Absolutely, these. Listen, that we're going to talk about the new financial system. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Everybody has a barcode. There's, I need to go live on Rumble. Let me just put it to you like this. You in America have a social security number for a reason. Every dollar you make is tracked for a reason. From birth. You have a value from birth. Go on TikTok. Yes, the fact that it is deplorable. So Biden, ours is already 67 right now, Tarot Guy. Hey, Mystic, how are you? How are you, honey? Yeah, of course the government's got. Yep, they all get together. All right. Well, I'm just trying to figure out if I can go. Like, I'm supposed to be live on Rumble right now. And I don't know if I am. Let me check. Because I've tried this. I've tried checking on this before. And it's... I don't even know how to go to my channel. Hold on. Let me go here. Yeah, I don't think I'm live on Rumble, and I should be live on Rumble right now. So I don't understand how to do that, but I'll figure that out. Okay. I'll figure that out. Just know that your number. Well, I'm not. Hey, Nick, how are you? How are you? I'm glad you caught me too, honey. Okay. Why am I bringing up all this? I'm bringing up all of these things because these are things we are not paying attention to that are being revealed to us during Mercury retrograde. That are being revealed to us. Now, I want to go back to the biotechnology, because we were about to go there. We're about to go somewhere real good with that biotechnology. Let me go here to this biomanufacturing. So supposedly, now, why are you calling an executive order? Why under the heading of biotechnology industry does clean energy and new fabrics, where does that fall under? Biotechnology. Why would one... That doesn't... No. The executive order allows the federal government to direct funding for the use of microbes and other biologically derived resources to make new foods, fertilizers, and seeds, as well as making mining operations more efficient. They did not provide any specifics on how much money would be available, where it would come from, or how it would be allocated. Further details expected at a White House summit on the topic on Wednesday. So we should find out about that, because I'm not sure where that happened. That would have been September the 13th, the day after we were told about the jabs not being recommended for children. And there are more than just the UK that are starting to do such things as well. The US federal government is already a source of funds to biotechnology research and development, R&D, through the National Institute of Health, which you may recall is presently run by one Dr. Anthony Fauci, and has been run by him for a very long time. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, Monsanto, anyone in GMOs, and other agencies. Overall, U.S. funding for R&D has dropped as a percentage of gross domestic product since a peak in the 1950s, a trend Biden has pledged to reverse. Now, they make it sound great because we're talking about renewable energy, but these applications from the biodiesel fuels made by Renewable Energy Group range from that to the Ronavac jabs made by Pfizer or the GMO seeds made by Corteventa. I haven't even read that yet. Now, let me tell you something. I don't know about you guys, but when I hear this sort of thing, I'm like, okay, wait. We over here concerned about the Queen, and I mean no disrespect to anybody in the UK. No disrespect. Okay, we got to take this out. Okay, Kyle, I'm going to have to guys, we can't. Okay, there's certain things we can't say in my chat cuz I do not want YouTube. So Kyle, while your comment is there's truth to that, I've got to where you at, baby? Why don't I see it over here? I'm gonna have to oh gosh, how do I? Kyle, if you could take your birth certificate comment out for me, I can't find it over in the live chat. I don't mean no harm. It's not that it's not the case. It's that I don't want to get hit. Why can't I see you? That's so weird, Kyle. I see you in Restream, but I don't see you in on YouTube. That's so weird. That's so weird. Hey, Melinda. So, okay. Oh, God. Oh, we're really getting into some things. You just watched a video about a right that Charles got. Yeah. So I'm just not trying to. Okay. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Thanks, sweetheart. I appreciate you. I don't know why I can't see you over in YouTube land. I know you're not blocked. That's so weird. Maybe that's why, because you got rid of it and then I can't see it. Anyway, while we're paying attention to all that, we've got all this stuff happening, and it's all happening right before Rosh Hashanah, which is the celebration of the creation of Adam and Eve, according to Judaism. So it's as if you're sanctioning the creation of a new human that has nanotechnology coursing through their veins, is eating foods that are engineered and not organic, and all the while ready to make us work longer, even longer than 67, so we can earn more money to put more money into the conferences that you guys can just use and borrow against, and then potentially cut the benefits for those that are already receiving those benefits that aren't making ends meet now. Right? There's a lot going on here. Are you seeing what was the point? If okay, we're going to take the UK for example. If you had, why didn't you tell people that you were not going to do this jabbing after September the 1st, 2022, when you started this, of these kids, these children? Why? Why put everybody in a tizzy and a terror? Why? Now I'm going to let you figure that out. But I'm saying, why? You guys got to think about these things. Why? Why are they just now coming out with the information that there are rare chances of heart inflammation and other coronary issues? Not to mention the neurological issues that we're seeing that nobody wants to talk about. That nobody wants to talk about. When some of us were trying to say this to people, we were saying these are the things that we saw. And some of them were actual medical physicians. I'm not doctor, I ain't giving you no medical advice. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what I read, a layman that studied biochemistry. What I saw. And so anyway, so why? So we're finding out all of these different things right now. We're seeing behind the curtain right now. Well, absolutely. This was the largest test group ever known on this planet. And I say that because it's still under emergency authorization. This still is not approved. What is being, and that's fact. Don't play with me, because we all don't play. Anybody listening? This is still under emergency authorization. So my point of view and my opinion is this was the largest test group we've ever seen. If they're engineering new foods, they're using things that are already used in non-food applications, absolutely, in those foods. But if you begin to change a person's composition, when you begin to change a person's composition of their cellular structure, because you're introducing non-naturally occurring biotechnology into their bloodstream and into their being, then you're going to have to change, right? The food needs to change. All these things need to change. But we're getting less and less nutrients from our food. It's harder and harder for you to grow your own. And this wasn't that far back in the day. This was maybe, I don't know. How old is my child? 31. So let's say about 10, 12 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, when I was living on the other side of the state, down in the corner, when we were getting ready to plant potatoes, right, and plant vegetables, because I had some friends that were farmers, and they let us have a garden, which I didn't know the garden was like, an eighth of an acre, like that. That to me, that's a farm, and they're like, no, that's a farm. This is a garden. But they were like, oh, what do you want to plant? I was like, well, I'd like to have some potatoes and stuff like that, and because I have 3 kids. So, back in the day, you could take potatoes, and when you got ready to plant them, you just let them sit out. And what would happen, y'all? Some of y'all will remember this. They would sprout eyes, right? You know, those brown things, like if the potatoes had sat for a little while, they'd sprout eyes. That's what we called them. Well, as a kid, they were like, oh, we got to use the potatoes quick. They're about to go bad. Well, but as an adult, I would grab a few bags of potatoes, different kinds, goldens, russets, and red, and I'd let them sprout the eyes. And then we'd cut them, right? Cut chunks of the potato with the eye, and you plant it. And for every one eye, you'd get 3 or 4 or 5 potatoes from that one. So it really exponentially grew. We'd have enough potatoes to last us through the entire winter. And then almost to the next following year, we wouldn't have to buy potatoes. Right? You'd plant them the week before. You'd plant them Good Friday. You got them in the ground around Good Friday, week before Easter, week before spring starts, right? Passover, Aries season in there. And they don't sprout eyes. That's what I was going to say. They don't sprout eyes anymore. Y'all buy back potatoes and see if them jokers sprout an eye. And they do not, unless they are completely organic potatoes. If they are organic potatoes, they will sprout eyes. If they are not, they do not. They just go bad and stinky. Mm-hmm. Steph says she's tried. See, I'm not lying, y'all. I'm not lying. When I want to do it, I have to buy organic potatoes, or I buy them from the farmer's market. Yep. If you leave onions in it, they grow like crazy. Now they just rot. Most everything, basically, they've made our fruits and vegetables impotent. You used to be able to take the seed from any vegetable and plant it yourself and grow your own veggies. You can't do that now. And when you buy vegetable seeds from the stores, you got to make sure they're non-GMO. And it's almost impossible to find them. Because if you buy GMO engineered seeds, those plants will not provide you with plants that are able to be reproduced. Those seeds will be impotent, unfertilizable, ungrowable. Well, Marie, you're probably getting ones that are non-GMO. We're all here in the US, and we're telling you ours do not, unless you get organic food. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lady Royal. Throat says. Anyway. They have a shorter life. They go bad. You pay more for real food. Exactly. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yes. So if you know places to go get them, that's different. But I'm just telling you, I'm just telling you that what you'd like, if you were to go like to Home Depot or whatever, or like a Lowe's or something like that to go get seeds, those will not produce plants that will reproduce. Now, I know we got off on a whole nother tangent. Hey, D Diamond, how you doing? The country's food supply has changed. The country's food supplies in a lot of areas is really dwindling quickly. Everything is not being replenished like it usually is. While we're paying attention to so many other things, these are the things that are happening behind the scenes. Why am I stressing Rosh Hashanah? I am hearing myself, and there are lots of others that are saying this, that something big is coming between the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. The 25th is a new moon. It is new moon in Libra. It is new moon in justice. It is new moon in balance. It is new it is go time. It is the time, if we're going to create a new, it is the time to set some things in motion. Both sides are setting these things in motion. Lower energy, their lower energy, new earth, more control, more split, more division, more fear, more sickness, all of that. And new earth from a higher frequency, higher vibrational standpoint. And I hate to say this, but I am at a point where I feel like religion is playing too much of a part. Religion is blinding the eyes and hearts of a lot of people. Yes, the matrix is going down. However, it's not going down as quick as we like. Child, I was about to talk about that. So, evidently, hold on. Here we go. I am a student, have been for many, many years, a student of biblical prophecy. You all know that I walked in the office of the prophetess when I was in the church. Here we have first red heifer, born in Israel for 2,000 years, triggers Armageddon fears after Christian and Jewish holy books say it will bring the end of the world. A Bible prophecy predicting the end of days is feared to come true after the first red heifer in 2,000 years was born in Israel. The Temple Institute in Jerusalem announced the calf's birth on YouTube, saying it would undergo extensive examination to determine if it is red all over. If the female baby cow is found to be blemish-free, the Institute would declare that the calf brings the promise of reinstating biblical purity to the world. In both Christianity and Judaism, the red heifer is central to the prediction about the end of times. After sacrificing the red cow, construction can begin on the third temple in Jerusalem. The Temple Institute and other groups worldwide were set up with the goal of building the third temple on Mount Moriah or on the Temple Mount. And here we go. But some theologians say the building of the third temple is linked to the judgment day or the end of times. This apocalyptic event will bring about what Christians call the rapture, where all Christian believers, living and dead, will rise into the sky and join Christ. The fate of non-believers isn't quite so promising. For them, the rapture means everlasting punishment of their souls in hell, which is not true. That's not true. And there's a lot of untruths. That's pushing it. The rabbi director of the institute says the time is ripe to build the third temple following the birth of the red heifer. And also, if I remember correctly, the reinstitution of Jerusalem being the capital. Now, oh boy. Let me say this. Here at this channel, that'd be out of line. They're not supposed to do that right now. Are you sure they're not going to do it for Rosh Hashanah, which would be next week Saturday? I don't. If they did that this Saturday, they're out of alignment with the holy days. They're completely out of alignment with the holy days. So I'm going to go on record right now and say that if they do that this Saturday, then that is proof positive that they are not the people that they say they are. They are not the true occupants of that land that they're in right now. They are not the true people that they say they claim to be. If they do it this Saturday, they are out of alignment and out of order with their own, with the high holy days. Tara, it doesn't matter to me. I know you didn't mean no disrespect. That's not even the most important thing for me right now. I hear you. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying, if they do that, and I'm going on record as saying that, if they do that over there in Israel this week Saturday, they're out of alignment and they're showing you that they're not the people that they're supposed to be. That they are not the true occupants, or who's supposed to be truly occupying that area of the world, if you believe that area of the world is the true Israel anyway. So I'm about to say some things right now that I'm going to tell you straight up. I mean, no disrespect to anyone's beliefs, but what I'm not going to do is windmill and argue with you in the comments. Because part of the veil being lifted is also us opening our eyes to how things have been twisted, contorted, misinterpreted, reinterpreted on purpose for the reason of control, fear, and to bolster and strengthen the quote unquote matrix. That's part of the purpose. So if you're not ready to open your eyes for that, I'm not going to fight you in my chat. I'm just not going to do it. So this might not be the live for you. You might need to come back and watch it later on. You might need to, when you can kind of digest it. I'm also not here saying anything to try to get somebody to not believe, disbelieve, unbelieve, or anything. I'm just going to keep it a buck. I don't know how much see, this is what I'm talking about. Girl talk. We're not doing that. This is what we're not doing. Because I'm not disputing anything today. I'm not doing it. Okay? This is my thing. I have a difference of opinion upon further study about sacrifices, whether they were truly done or not. I have a different interpretation of why Christ came to this earth. and not even my interpretation. When I read the Gnostic books, he says in the book of Thomas, do not worship me. And that was one of the main books that was ripped out of there. Why? Who are we worshiping? So this not what we're doing. I understand that. But I'm also telling you right here, right now, because you and I had a little discussion outside of this. So I'm telling you right now, I'm not doing this today. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Okay. There is something going on in the world that's not right. I am not denying that either. This is what I'm going to tell you. A lot of what we have been told, a lot of what we have been, a lot of us that have grown up in the church, we've been told some things for many, 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 many years that just simply aren't true. It simply aren't true. And while, yes, I'm open, yes, I taught that for years. I believed that for years. That's what I was taught. That's what I believed. However, I did not completely believe the same way that some people were teaching it, because some things never sat right with me. What I'm saying to you now is this. I have a greater understanding and understanding of who Creator is, of what salvation is and is not, of where Christianity even arose from. Because Christianity isn't even the first time that a messianic sacrificial figure took center place and made a sacrifice for their people. That in fact is the 13th time that story was told. The 13th. Now that in and of itself is actually a holy number. There are 13 moon cycles, not 12. There are 13 moon cycles during the year. That is a holy number in and of itself. It is not unlucky. We were made to feel like it was unlucky. Why? Because if we understood the power of that renewal 13th cycle, we would tap into a higher energy. So I hear you. But I'm just going to present things as I understand them now. I do not follow a religion. I no longer follow a religion. No longer follow a religion. Because religion is constructed by man. And whenever man constructs something, man, he fucks it up. Are you saying that, GT? Because yes, as people grow, they also evolve and change. That is why me and, absolutely. We grow, we evolve, we learn. 13 reduces down to 4, stability. Thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing what you see, understanding what's happening. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Girl talk, I swear to God, I'm not doing it. 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 Thanks, LG. Absolutely. Religion is objective and it's subjective and it's created by man. So let us move into a time of understanding. We back to the potatoes. The potatoes don't grow eyes. Yes. Hi, Dr. Simone, by the way. Hello, sweetheart. I just started showing you. It's more about power and control. Absolutely. That's what religion is about. So let's start here. There are certain signs and things that are happening that I cannot deny are in the Bible and are biblical. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I feel like everything in the Bible is problematic. No, I don't. I think we've done some gross misinterpretations, and I believe, in fact, I know there have been some gross misinterpretations and removals of critical information that would have been to our benefit, done especially at the time that King James did what he did and created or translated his version of the Holy Bible. I've said this before, this is nothing new. So here we are at Mercury retrograde, and I'm spilling it. Okay, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm gonna drop the link in a little bit here. We're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to talk. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not arguing. I'm gonna present information because my mind is already made up. There's no point in me arguing, and I'm not trying to change anyone's religion. I'm just presenting what I know, being an ordained minister, having studied the Bible, having studied the Tanakh, which is the entirety of the Old Testament in original Hebrew, right? Having now studied other spiritual and religious systems, and then allowing myself to be open to the possibility that maybe there's more to the story than what we've been told. Okay? That's what I am doing. Now, if that is a conversation that we cannot have, if that's too much, that's cool. I'll catch you on another live. Okay? That's cool. I'll catch you on another live. Tarot guy, I don't know what you're talking about, babe. The other night that I had, you felt I may have approached some things with less care than I should have. Okay. Not everybody's going to like how I do things. Like some people got offended because they felt I was laughing at the praise breaks. I was reminiscing about something that is part of my culture. I was reminiscing about that. And I was reminiscing with other people who have participated in that. So sometimes people, I think there's another thing. You all, if you hang out with me long enough, you're going to find out this. I try not to say, I don't make everything sacred and solemn and a sacred cow. I'll say whatever conversation I want to say publicly. I try not to make everything a sacred cow. Because in that, we hide behind sacredness as a way of being like, well, I don't want to, or I'm uncomfortable, or we can't have an open and honest conversation because it's sacred. It's something we just don't talk about. It's time out. As far as I'm concerned, it's time out for that. There are some things I keep private, but that's my private life. You keep yours private, I keep mine private. And we're off topic, and I'm gonna get right back on right now. But part of the problem has been we've made so much so holy and so set apart that we've removed the personal power that we all came here and were endowed with as divine beings of the divine, creator, source, universal, original, God, goddess energy. My role here is to demystify all that to make it accessible again. So I guess, I'm a Martin Luther. I don't know what to tell you, child. Blessings, sweetheart. How are you? Blessings. Delva, how are you? Hey, sweetheart. How you doing? Hello, Binky. Hello, baby. Now I'm letting people know. And you see, what you see is what you get. And so I'm gonna need people to calm down. You felt it didn't warrant a big reaction. I did. You felt it didn't warrant a big reaction. I did. So I can't tell you how not to feel. You can't tell me how not to feel. Right? I have to honor whatever it is that might, you know what I'm saying? That might trigger or that might hit you. I'm still human. I'm still human. But it was something for me. It was a big deal for me because I also don't feel like people I can't come and tell anybody here, for instance. Yeah, that's cool. I can't come in here and tell anybody here of a different, that would be like me telling my Latina sisters in here that if somebody says something, they felt whatever type of way about a situation that had really to do with their culture, that'd be like me telling them, like, why would you, don't get it? You know what I'm saying? Like, no. When people make assumptions about what anything that I'm doing without asking me, and you come to me and tell me you're offended about something, and you don't even talk to me first, that's what you're going to get. Because I don't play it. I don't play that game. Right? If you got a question, it bothered you, whatever, come to me and say something. I'm totally cool with that. What I'm not cool with is you coming in hot and trying to tell me how I should or should not do something when it really wasn't yours to get offended about in the first damn place. So that's where that's at. Where we at? We're all sacred spiritual beings housed and walking in the flesh. Absolutely. You said and I said something too. It is what it is. We're acting ways to go outside of our own standards, and let alone the standards. And honestly, I didn't act outside of my standard. Thank you, Dr. Simone, for saying that. I appreciate you. But there's always going to be a side of me that's going to give it to you sometimes. I am a long-suffering individual and a very understanding and very compassionate. But, you cross the line, you cross the line. That's it. That's all. I know you don't, babe. I'm cool. All right, let's get back to what we was talking about, because that's what I really want to talk about. So now, there are some things in the Bible that are happening that have been foretold about biblically, And here we are today, and they are coming to pass. There are other things biblically that I'm like, did y'all really read that? Because if you read it, you might, and did you really understand it? And did you fill in the blanks from everything that was taken out? So this red heifer being born, first one in 2,000 years, okay. Cyclically, okay. Depending upon what they do with it, though, will then dictate to me whether or not somebody is trying to. Y'all not gonna like this one. Could it be things are written and they've been written for a long time? And could it be that some people are trying to kick some things off in the name of fulfillment of prophecy? And what if that prophecy isn't a real prophecy? Hey, chronically ill. Oh, okay, sweetheart. If it was correction for me, listen, I would have I take it from you. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let me put you like this. Exactly. Fear and control. I'm gonna put you like this. Let me drop this link because I can see we need to get into some things. This is what I'm concerned about, that it is a means of manipulation. Just as much either trying to push the hand of God or, dare I say, trying to fake the hand of God. I told y'all not gonna like this. What I've come to understand and understand, especially as I've begun to not only study the Gnostic books that were removed, but study spirituality throughout the ages, because this is new. This whole monotheistic situation is new. Before this, there wasn't. All other cultures understood that you could not contain the essence of creator in one being. That there were so many aspects and portions and dispensations, right? That came that we interact with and we have over the centuries and millennia. You couldn't contain it all in one. But when you have a culture that has one Caesar, one leader, one king, one this, and they believe themselves to be a deity in and unto themselves, they are going to create a religion, a religious system that then dictates that there be one. That then dictates that there'll be one. Yes, destructive chaos. I completely believe that. Because they want to reign supreme, allegedly. Sure, they do. That's not alleged. Yeah, allegedly. There are many ancient writings that are much older than the Bible. Exactly. However, so what if, because we all know already that these folks understood the cycles, the astrological cycles, the lunar cycles. They understood metaphysics. They understood esoterics. They understood hermetics. They understood all of these things way better than we did. Why? And why is that? Because we had Christianity forced down our throat. And we were told all of that was of the devil. When it was being used in a way that was perhaps of the devil, if you believe there's a devil. But that doesn't mean it was bad. Do you understand what I'm saying? The Bible itself has been used to kill, maim, destroy many a people and a civilization. I was just rewatching The Crown today just because I'm like, and I think it's episode 6, season 1, maybe episode 7. I think it's episode 6. Margaret, Princess Margaret, is making this speech in Rhodesia. And she's talking about how Rhodesia was a backwards, barbaric, savage African nation until the small colony of English settlers came. And now it's prosperous and civilized. How dare she? How dare she? And there were other scenes, where I'm like, this is disgusting. This is why the African nations, and then people have the audacity to get upset because the African nations and the Caribbean nations are like, thank God, let's get off from underneath this now. Now is our time to be free and sovereign. At any rate, so if you want to rule and control a people, you rule and control their what? Their gods. As well as subjugate and stigmatize cultures. You're rewatching it too. Yeah. Yes, China used to justify wars, holy wars. Absolute arrogance. My point is this. This comes from the same group. I know there's a church in England, but hear me out. The Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, and in fact, Christianity itself was created by the Romans. It was not created by Paul or John or Matthew or Mark or Luke, which I don't think that was their real names, or Peter. Don't think that was his real name either. Very English names for Jewish or Hebrew men. Anyway, fancy me that. Riddle me that, Batman. Riddle me that, Batman. Do we ever think about that? You can't even get these people's names right. You can't even get these people's names right. You had to make these people's names conform to your King James, to your culture. So when I say to you that each of the previous spirituality systems, the major ones that I've studied, there are a total of 13, Jesus Christ being the 13th, messianic figure, messianic sacrificial figure. that each time this was a revelation of a consciousness to a culture. You only have to look at the Bible. Why is it that the Old Testament, we got all the names we cannot, we can't pronounce? Now, any of y'all that ever read the Bible, we had to read it from front to back. You know, you went 365 days through the Bible. Remember, y'all ever did that when y'all was younger? Maybe you'll do it now. I don't know. And so you set out January 1st, you start reading. You start reading in the old. Usually there's some Old Testament and then some New Testament. Because otherwise you ain't never getting through that Bible in a whole year. You get to certain parts of so-and-so begat so-and-so and so-and-so begat so-and-so and so-and-so begat so-and-so. Y'all know those names are hard to read. Stop playing. Y'all know them names is hard to read, right? So those names didn't get changed. Why change the New Testament names? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John that was not their names. Thomas, Peter, the 12 disciples, that was not their names. It's called the Julian calendar. Isn't the 365-day calendar called Julian calendar? Right? My point is that so already in the door, you change the names of these men. Why? Names, words, spells, spelling, there's power in each one of those men's names. So you change their names, you remove text. You didn't remove nothing out the Old Testament. You remove text. They did change some wording in the Old Testament because, like in Exodus, when the golden calf, you know, the scene with the golden calf where Moses was up getting the 10 Commandments, the golden calf actually leapt out. See, they took all the, they took all the symbols and the jewelry and everything, the sigils. You know, I got my little statuette here, right? This is Hathor, I believe. No, this is Hathor. That's Sekhmet. So they took all the little symbols, the earrings and everything. You know, they'll tell you they'll say, oh, well, they took the gold so they'd have something. Okay, the children of Israel. Y'all was going to the desert, but okay, no problem. They also took all the sigils, the ankhs, the sacred geometrical symbols, the alchemy symbols, all of that were engraved and were fashioned into different pieces. They took that with them. And when they smelted the other gold, they also took things like the ankhs, yeah, and they put them in there. And in the mold or whatnot, they ascribed certain things in there. And they brought that calf to life. The calf leapt out of the fire. If you go back to the original Tanakh or the Torah, which because this will be in the first 5 books, if you go to the original writing, when in the King James it says they brought it out of the fire or something like that. No, they didn't. The calf was alive. They were able to animate inanimate objects. People will call that the Kabbalah or Jewish mysticism, Hebrew mysticism. Just like there's Christian mystics. That's where your power is, guys. Why would you take that away? Because you don't want us to have it. I got to catch up here. The books taught you the magic and then told you the warnings. Yeah. But they took all the magic. Intense. Yes, it is intense over the summers. Oh, I love the Ankh. Remove real meanings. Absolutely. Yep, the Gregorian and Julian calendars are two different calendars. They probably do not call it the Christian calendar instead of the Gregorian or the Julian calendar. Absolutely. But my point is this. Where was I? So, red heifer. What's supposed to happen next is the temple's supposed to be built right on the Temple Mount, Mount Moriah. And at some point then during this time, 3.5 years into the building of the temple on the mount, I believe what's supposed to happen then, red, is the rapture. Well, either the rapture's going to happen the day that they, put that heifer up on their child, or I don't know, maybe 3.5 years into it. Here, red heifer in the third temple. Oh, I used to know this by heart. Revelation 11. Here, I'm gonna share this with y'all. We're gonna talk about this because I'm gonna help you debunk the rapture right now too. Yes, there's Jewish texts that talks about making golems. In fact, they made them during World War II. The Bible prophesies the rebuilding of the temple. In Revelation 11:1-2, John was told to measure the Jewish temple and those that worship therein. A person obviously cannot measure the temple if there's no temple to be measured. The time given in the prophecy when this event will take place is 42 months before the second coming of Jesus in the Battle of Armageddon. Therefore, this prophecy indicates the Jewish temple will be standing 42 months before the second coming. 2 Thessalonians 2:4, it foretells the man of sin, the Antichrist, will sit in the temple of God, claiming to be God. This is called the abomination of desolation, which Jesus said would occur 42 months before his second coming. So we have these two prophecies stating the Jewish temple will be rebuilt. Both of them prophesy the temple will be standing at the same time, 42 months before Armageddon. Scriptures also say there will soon be a peace agreement between the Israelis and the Palestinians. The prophecies foretell clearly that the Jewish temple will be completed during the 3.5 years following the signing of this peace agreement. Pressure from the international community for Israel to reach a two-state solution to the Palestinian problem has never been greater than now. We know the temple cannot be built until Israel has a qualified red heifer for the purification of the Israeli people. Many efforts are ongoing by the Temple Institute and others to produce a red heifer, indicating we are nearing the time for the building of the third temple. Numbers 19 teaches that the Jewish people if any person has contact with a dead body, he or she is ritually impure and may not go into the sanctuary of the Lord until being purified. This means if a person has walked through a cemetery, visited a funeral home, been in a hospital where someone has died, or been in the presence of a human death in any form, he is impure. If a person violates this commandment by entering the sanctuary while impure, he is to be cut off from Israel. In other words, the person is to be excommunicated from God's people. The commandment in Numbers 19 describes the only way people under the law could be purified from contact with a dead body. A red heifer without blemish and on which a yoke has never been placed must be killed, its body burned, and ashes mingled in water. The one to be purified must then be sprinkled by the mixture in order to be cleansed from the curse of death. So this was a commandment given to Moses. The last red heifer was offered during the era of the Second Temple, which ended with the Roman destruction of the temple in 70 AD. after death. But I want you all to know that, so I want you all, those of you who know these things, know that the rapture is discussed in Revelations chapter 4. So wouldn't the rapture have already happened? Or is this the signaling of the rapture? It talks about when they refer to the rapture, they talk about in Thessalonians a catching away, this and that. I'm going to propose to you all, and they also talk about that the rapture won't happen until there's a great coming to the Lord, a great falling away, and then a great coming to the Lord, right? In salvation. I'm going to propose to you that we may have been looking at this wrong. What if this great coming to gnosis and knowledge of God and goddess and salvation, because all salvation is, right, is the reunification of man with creator in a relationship, a true relationship. That's all that is. And death to self, this ego death to self for the service of others, which is true service to self, brings you into a relationship with your higher self that then is already in relationship, because it is in the ethers, with creator. This is all representative. I don't believe that there's going to be a rapture. What makes folks think that they are so much better than anybody else throughout all the ages that they get to be snatched up out of here before all hell breaks loose? I think the rapture is not going to happen the same way. I think this catching away, or this split, is the split that's going to happen between those that are awakened, those that are vibrating, living at a higher dimensional level, aka a fifth dimensional being, fifth dimensional being, living in the quantum, that you are already undergoing a certain amount of changes to your body composition. Your cells are changing. If you are actively activating light codes, if you're actively activating your junk DNA, if you're actively changing, right? You're actively growing. You've probably noticed changes in your physical being already. Because your body has to change in order to be able to handle a higher frequency of light, of energy. It has to, right? So what if the rapture then becomes this separation? This higher dimensional beings basically, so to maybe third dimensional beings that are still kind of figuring this out until whatever we decide to do with them is done, they wouldn't be able to really interact with us as well. They might not see us. Or it's just we are all existing on this plane. It's just we are vibrating at a different frequency, or capable of kind of going back and forth between. So when they talk about this whole new Jerusalem and this new earth and all this stuff, like I see that in more of us being able to walk in both planes. Eventually, I guess we would have the choice of whether or not we want to remain here. But I have heard that that there's a strong possibility, allegedly, this is opinion and conjecture, that there's going to be a false rapture. I've also heard that depending upon what types of social media information you consume and follow and interact with on certain platforms that are supposed to be safe, that you may be getting tagged, flagged, marked. So what if all of a sudden that group of people disappeared, but in fact they were just rounded up? Do you understand what I'm saying? There's a lot that's in there that if you read it from a metaphorical or metaphysical standpoint, you will see it very differently. This is another reason why I think that we're being shown things during Mercury retrograde. Let's look at the chart. This is the chart on the new moon for Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah. Now, here we have, mind you, all of this is conjunct. The new moon, Mercury in retrograde, backpedaling all the way into Virgo, getting conjunct. It will be conjunct and it'll backpedal right past Virgo too, Venus. So the moon, the sun, Venus, and Mercury in retrograde are all going to be conjunct at the same time. That is going to be trining Pluto in Capricorn, also in retrograde. I am looking for major economic issues to happen right then. I'm also looking for perhaps some other knowledge scandal, or just, oh my gosh, you all have been doing tomfoolery and effery from various governmental agencies, will be revealed by on or around that date. There are some people that believe that there's going to be a complete economic change by that date, changeover, a financial system changeover. That could as well. Could I see it happening either on that day or in the 10 days following, which basically is almost a complete new moon cycle? Yes, I could. More so than ever before. It's a possibility. If you're gonna do it, that'd be a really good day to do it. Be a really good day to do it, in fact. But I do feel lots of, like, we are going to find out even more about secrets, let's say secret societies, secret agendas, secret tomfoolery, potentially secret criminal activity, or criminal activity that's been thus far withheld from us, or the proof of it has been withheld. This is all going to be centered around everything that we love, cherish. Justice must be brought. You got to see the truth. And over these 10 days, I believe that you will. We have Saturn in retrograde in the first house then, in Aquarius, the house of knowing, the house of self, in the sign of knowing. Be ready for more structural just changes. Again, how you're interacting with the structures in your life, elevations of that. That is trining Mars, that is direct in the 4th house in Gemini. That's a powerful trine, you guys. If we've all been on, if you even notice, it's like everybody's on damn tilt. It's like everybody's on tilt. 150%. People are wilding. I've got people wilding in my personal life. I'm sure got people wilding in yours. People are wilding in the streets. Folks are suing folks. Folks is blah, blah, blah. I want this title. Oh, we're going to do biotechnology and give you bio food. Oh, but we got to make sure we get more jabs. Come on now. We wilding. People is wilding out. This is also, though, an excellent time for you to step out into your own power. If I can encourage you all to do anything during this time, is stop giving your power away. Which one of you cats is messing up in there? Lord have mercy. Y'all can get y'all cats. Virgo in there tearing something up. I hear it right now. I don't know what she doing. There's playing. Stop giving your power away. And that's to anything. We are not meant to be here broke, busted, and disgusted. We're not meant to be that. That is not who we are. One-third of the loss of land. Yeah, I know. And honestly, I would tell you something. I depend upon how many people. Ooh, Lord have mercy. I can't say that. I can't say that. The conjunction pod. I follow a lot of beliefs without fear. Oh, you mean if it's hard? Yeah. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying, Tarek. I misinterpreted that the first time. I read it again. You're absolutely right. Why would you follow anything if you're not afraid of any of the consequences? But if it was a true belief system that's truly based on love, you'll want to follow it anyway. Absolutely. I totally believe it. The roof is on fire, my God, today. It might have been Gemini. Okay. So it is time, like right now, I'm sure that you feel pushed, motivated, elevated to change and do something. I know a lot of people feel that way because I talk to a lot of them now every day. I talk to them every day. When you have Mars in Gemini, your mind, the ideas are flowing, they're coming, they're begging, pleading to be let free, set free, and acted upon. Now is not a time for you to sit by doing nothing. Now is your time to stand up and do something. Now is your time to make whatever sacrifice, Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, of self for the greater good. Now is the time for that sacrifice. To balance the scales. Let your ego go to the side. Let your pride go to the side. Let your imposter syndrome go to the side. Let your doubt, let your fear, Let your I'm not good enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough go be put to the side so that you can step into who you are and not be dependent upon an external structure to tell you who you are. It's time to act, not time to sit. That's what Mars and Gemini is forcing us to do. And I love this energy. This is the time for you to get moving. Oh, I meant to take this out. Ooh, you guys, sorry about that. For you to get moving. Hang on one second. I want you all, I'm going to put this in here. I haven't talked to y'all about this at all night long. All night long. What link do I have in here for that? Hold on. What? I want y'all to go to this link. Those of you who haven't talked to me yet, go to this link, book a call with myself or one of my team. Hey, Joy, Kimberly, how are you? Consultation. If you're ready to start your spirit-based business, shameless plug. But guys, when I tell you I'm enrolling right now about 3 people a week. So much so that I'm gonna start limiting how many people I bring in a month. Until we hire some more coaches. Because now's the time for you to go out on your own and do it. But you gotta also there's those of us here that are here to help you do it, right? So check that link out, free 30-minute consultation, book with one of us. Here we go. This is all happening on Rosh Hashanah. Now, I'm going to bring this on a world scale. Oh, also, we also have Uranus in retrograde coming back towards now. It's not ever, I don't think, going to catch up to the North Node in Taurus. Well, it might, because the North Node is... No, it's not. It doesn't move fast enough. But it is conjunct still. So it's still conjunct to the North Node. We still have what are we doing? How are we doing it? How are we going to possess what we want to possess? What is it we really want to possess? How are we going to radicalize and radically change and improve? That is squaring this Saturn in Aquarius. This is what I'm going in retrograde. This is a problem. Now, on a world scale, this is probably more fighting. We're going to see some more saber rattling or escalation of conflict. Hopefully it won't become, what do they call it? When it's actual war. People. I would say there's going to be some more big tech changes happening. I would say that we'll see some more whistleblowers potentially, and I would venture to say we're going to see more of big tech fighting back. We could see some outages of big tech. This also doesn't make me feel real warm and fuzzy. If you're not already a manifester, you better start becoming one. If you're not one that walks in this, my life is run by my highest good and of my highest good, or you ain't got no clue how to do that, watch some more stuff. We'll go live more in here. Watch some of my stuff. watch some. You need to make sure you know how to manifest, because this does tell me food shortages. Bad. This gives me energy shortages, maybe not so much here in America, I would say overseas. This gives me weather, major weather patterns, more destructive, unlike we've seen. This is in the third house as well, which means this gives me revolutionary thought. It can be on a positive side or it can be on a not so positive. But this gives me revolutionary thought. Most definitely. And it's got to change now. That could mean things like rioting, right? Protesting, but it's like rioting. Potentially overturning government structures, radically changing it. That would also come into play in this opposition, which I find quite interesting, of Jupiter in retrograde to the new moon directly and then indirectly with that, right? With Mercury and Venus. And then that's just barely in the first house. There's a lot of activity in the first house as well. Major changes so that's major personal changes, but on a global scale. It's going to affect all of us. How much, to what degree, and how quickly are you able to get away from that. She's about to knock over the camera. How much is going to affect you and how quickly you transmute it and translate it into positive for you is really going to depend again on how well you've learned to transmute, translate, and reintegrate, and then use it. Hey, you two. It's going to be time for me to get off here because this is their playtime. This is when they run around and act absolute crazy. It's 10:45 here. Shadow energy and then release it so that it can be light energy. So I would say definitely keep some cash on hand. Try to have enough for maybe about 3 to 7 days. Whatever bills you feel like, whatever bills you can't pay before the 25th. And nothing may happen, guys. I'm just saying this is a very volatile. And let me tell you something else. This Neptune in retrograde in Pisces squaring Mars in Gemini in the 4th house. FM. Like, that's like delusional people. So if you've got people that are just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs delusional, like you are just sitting here going, how in the world did you come up with that? Hey, stop, Virgo. In addition to the Mercury retrograde, they already like this on the 25th? Man, come on now. Listen, don't talk to me. If y'all delusional, please stay away from me. I don't have nothing to say to y'all. Oh, good night, Chocolate Earth. You've watched Resident Evil? Girl, I've never seen that. Never seen that. The cats are going crazy. This be their time. You in hermit mode, stay in hermit mode. So I'm just saying, this is not even remotely over. This is not even remotely, it ain't even really started. The delusion is real. So I'm not trying to scare anybody. I just want y'all to be prepared. No, I wish I could put it onto that. You two, stop. This is their playtime. They've been sleeping all day and they start playing at about 10:30, especially if I'm up 11 o'clock at night. So this is their playtime. The 20th, yeah, it is on the 25th. That's when the new moon. We'll start doing some readings early because I want to really prepare y'all for it. Um, but by the same token, guys, this is also the perfect time to take back your autonomy, take back your autonomy, take back your rulership, change how you earn your money and how you possess what you have, start a business, become an entrepreneur. This is the best time for it. This is the best time for it. We're doing very well. But you also have to be willing to move with the times and not be stuck in one myopic way of doing things. Like, you got to be willing to be adaptable because things are changing so rapidly. You have to be willing to be adaptable. That's the only way it's going to work. All right, guys, I've been on here a little over 2 hours. We have talked about everything, and I feel nothing. But we talked about a lot. I like getting into these discussions. So I'm gonna wrap it up because I was just thinking, I should probably go get some eggs first so I can make my babies some breakfast in the morning. So I'm gonna take my behind to bed. But tomorrow, what I want to talk about on the Sunday Soul podcast tomorrow is I'm going to share with you my journey, my manifestation journey, the recent journey. Oh, thank you so much, dear. Thank you. We'll talk more. I love talking about the Bible stuff too. So we're going to start getting into that. But I want to like share with you some recent manifestations that I have had occur in my life, and the pathway to that, if you all are open for that. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow, and I want to kind of get down into the down and dirty and the reals of what creating your world really looks like. And I want to be honest and open with y'all, because it ain't unicorns and rainbows. It's not fairy dust and glitter. It's not. So if y'all are willing to listen to that and talk with me about that tomorrow, I'm more than willing to teach on it and then open up a live discussion for y'all, okay? All right. Now, does anyone want to, does anyone want to have any conversation tonight? Or I think y'all's tired like me. Thank you so much, Kyle, for coming. It ain't for the weak, in the words of the late David A. Arnold. Absolutely. It's not. It's not. It's not. But it's the most amazing thing ever. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And you take a step, and my God, Okay, darling. Yes, thank you guys. I'm finna tuck into you see me. You're welcome, sweetheart. You know what? Yes, eliminating negativity. I'm gonna tell you this and I'm gonna let y'all go. Because I could talk for all night long. I don't push it away anymore. Negativity. I don't push it away. I examine why it's there. Stop now, you two. You're doing the most. I examine why it's there. And then, do you hear her? Did y'all hear her? She had found something to play with. And then utilize it and transmute it instead. Because if I had no negativity in my life, I know you'll hear my bad kids. They're just terrible. If I had no negativity, I would have nothing to contrast it against with light. Do I like drama? No. So at all, completely, yes, need a contrast. I cannot do the drama. Now that I will kick dead out. I'll be like, mm-mm. But I will confront it head on because I don't want it to fester. But I don't let it stay. I just acknowledge it and then figure out why is it here. And see if it has a purpose. And if it does, great. Awesome. I'm glad. If it doesn't, then you got to go. Then why did I attract it? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always a purpose. That's all I'm saying. All right, gang. I gotta go get some eggs so I can make my peoples some eggs. I bought a bunch of stuff in the morning to make them for breakfast. So we're gonna do that. Just like, what is that? Just like needing the rain to appreciate the sun. Absolutely. I can't grow if I don't go through anything. Like iron sharpens iron, so a man is friend. You always need it. So I don't look at it as negativity anymore. If it's drama, though, if y'all want drama, I'm not for the drama. I will cut it out. I'll call you out. I ain't got no problem with that. All right, guys, let me get on out of here. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you guys very, very much. Namaste. Stay positive throughout the rest of this time. Okay? Stay positive. Just see things, examine them, research. If your spidey senses go off, just be like, what in the world's going on? And just get to know what's happening so you know where to raise your vibration above, okay? All right, gang, we'll talk to you soon.